Resumes, cover letters, and references. Putting yourself on paper. Presented by the Longwood University Academic and Career Advising Center. Before we begin talking about resumes, it is important to remember that there is no exact way to write a resume. Everyone has a preference and opinion regarding style and structure. Your aim when constructing your resume should be to highlight your skills and qualifications in an easy-to-read format. This presentation will focus on the main components of a resume. However, you are encouraged to visit our office for a resume review or for any additional assistance you may need. The first step in constructing a resume is to select your content. There is a variety of information that you can include on your resume. However, this presentation will discuss the main components that need to be included on your resume. First is your contact information. Your contact information includes your name, address, phone number, and email address. Students often include both their campus address and their permanent address on their resumes. Be sure to use a professional email address such as yourname@hotmail.com. You will also want to include your educational information. For this section, you want to include the school name, city and state, the type of degree you will be receiving, for example, Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts, your major, as well as any minors or concentrations, and your expected graduation date. Include your GPA if it is 3.0 or higher. If you are unsure of any of this information, contact the university's registrar's office. The bulk of your resume should be comprised of your experience. It is important to remember that your experience isn't restricted to work that you've been paid for performing. Experience can be paid or unpaid, volunteer work or an internship, clubs or organizations that you are involved in, or anything else where you've gained the skills an employer is looking for. There are 5 components to include when describing your experiences: the name of the organization you worked for, the city and state where the organization is located, your title, the dates that you worked for that organization, and your duties and responsibilities in that particular position. Focus on skills that apply to your objective as well as the highest level of your job responsibilities. There's no need to include everything you've done. Use action words to describe the work you've done, quantifying when possible. See the example provided for an idea of how to format your experience sections. Once you've selected your content, the second step in resume construction is to decide on your format. There are 2 different types of formatting that you can use to construct your resume: functional and chronological. The functional formatting style uses skill areas to list work experiences and abilities. This style allows you to choose headings that are featured in the job description you are applying for to play up your strengths. Additionally, you can group responsibilities from a variety of experiences, focusing more on what you've done and less on when and where you did it. The functional resume is not an easy type of resume to construct and tends to be lengthier than the standard chronological resume format. The chronological formatting style centers your experience around dates, starting with the most recent and working backward. This formatting style allows you to show continuity in experience as well as any promotions you may have achieved. This is the most common format for college students and recent graduates, and one that is preferred by employers. Once you have identified your content and decided on a formatting style, the third and final step is to type your resume. But watch the appearance. You want your resume to be clean, concise, and easy to read. You want to be consistent with your choice of font style and size, as well as your choice of bullet and where they fall in the margins. One of the most important things you can do for yourself is to proofread, proofread, proofread. Be sure to read over your resume, as well as have someone else look over your resume. We often get too close to things we create that we cannot see our mistakes, so the more eyes that review your information, the better, because typos will often send your resume to the bottom of an application stack very quickly. Finally, print your resume on resume paper. For the best resume possible, use a laser printer and quality bond paper in a neutral color: white, off-white, cream, or light gray. Print only on the front side of the paper and do not staple or fold your information. Instead, mail your resume flat in a large envelope. Remember, resume writing is not the time to show your creativity. Instead, you want to show your professionalism. Here's a sample document to give you an idea of how to create a professional-looking resume. Next, I will talk about cover letters, what they are, and what they should contain. Always send a cover letter with your application materials unless a position specifically states not to. The purpose of a cover letter is to persuade an employer to review your resume and consider granting you an interview. Therefore, you should put time and effort into constructing a good, quality cover letter. The goal of your letter is not to simply restate the information on your resume. Instead, your letter should highlight your strongest qualifications, describe your experiences more in depth, and show your knowledge of the organization and how you will be a good fit in that position and with their company. Cover letters should follow standard business letter format with 3 to 5 paragraphs on a single page. You want to try and address your letter to a specific person. This may involve calling and inquiring who is responsible for hiring the position you are applying for. If you are unable to find out the contact person for that position, address your letter to Director of Personnel. Stay away from to whom it may concern. Do not send the same cover letter for each position you are applying for. Be sure to personalize each letter to reflect how your skills and experience match the skills and experience the employer is seeking. Within your letter, you want to refer to the source where you found the job announcement, whether it's the name of a newspaper, website, or other place where you found it, as well as the name of the position to be filled. Finally, your cover letter should be professional in appearance and use quality paper, preferably the same paper you used for your resume to give a consistent appearance. Here is a sample document to give you an idea of how to construct a professional-looking cover letter. Finally, the last section of this presentation will address references. As early as your freshman year, you will want to be thinking of people that can speak on your behalf. It is a good idea to have between 3 to 5 individuals who can serve as a reference for you by discussing qualities such as your motivation, initiative, work ethic, reliability, dependability, oral and written communication skills, academic ability, and any other characteristics related to your qualifications as a potential employee. When developing a list of references, be sure to select individuals who have positive things to say about you, and never assume that these people will agree to serve as a reference. Always ask references for their permission to use them before including their contact information with your resume or on applications. Also, don't be surprised if your references request a copy of your resume and descriptions of jobs for which you are applying. Providing this information will help prepare them for giving you a good recommendation. When listing reference information, be sure to include the individual's name and prefix, their title and relationship to you, their mailing address, and their phone number and email address. Be considerate of their preferences when listing information. If a reference prefers not to give out their email address, for example, leave this information off. Finally, be sure to keep your references up to date and thank them for their help. Being a reference requires work on their part, and it is common courtesy to keep them informed. Here is a sample document to give you an idea of how to construct a reference page. Remember that the Academic and Career Advising Center is here to help you. For assistance with resume, cover letter, or reference writing, please call or stop by the Academic and Career Advising Center to schedule an appointment with a career advisor.